from 7. Mate, what can you tell us about the team? I suppose we'll start with Gov. Is he in or is he out this week?
No, Gov won't play this week. No, we'll give him another week. The thumb's just giving a bit of grief at the moment, so it hasn't got worse. It's got better, but just not to the point where he can play. So we tested it out today, and we're on the side of caution with that one.
You expect him back for Carlton then next week? We've got a bit of a longer break this week, don't you?
I hope so. I was expecting him last week, so we'll have to wait and see. It's we'll give it as much time as it needs to. So like I said, it hasn't had a setback. It's just hard. It's a difficult spot. So just going to take a little bit of time. But actually, Harry Edwards is going to play this week. His first game for the footy club. So it's been a while since we've debuted someone. I think probably Jones is the last one. Really exciting for Harry. He's a key position defender and local product. He's from Swan Districts, and he's ready to go.
Why Edwards? What made you go, he's the one to come in and get his opportunity? What's he been doing that's impressed you?
Oh, he's been knocking on the door for a few weeks, and these tall defenders take a little bit of time to develop. So he's pretty raw. I reckon he might have grown around 20 centimetres in the last 2 years. So I think he came to the club as a utility, and he's grown. I think he's around 200 centimetres tall now. So he's grown into his position. He's put a lot of size on the last 12 months, and he's got a pretty big job in front of him this weekend with what Geelong are going to produce. But we think he's ready to go, and we're looking forward to get a game under his belt.
How do you follow up an effort like last week? You certainly got the AFL world talking.
Oh yeah, well every now and then everything clicks, and I don't think any of us would expect that type of performance every week. But I think the pillars of which we played under, the identity of which style of play that we've sort of found the last few weeks has helped us out, and it's not built around kicking 16 goals, so we'll take it. But we think we're defending better, we're putting a bit more pressure on the game. Our midfielders have clicked a bit, and on the weekend we're really efficient in the front half. I think we only had 9 or 10 turnovers in the front half, so we wouldn't have thought that type of output will happen every week, but the pillars and the platform which we've built that, we're hoping that's consistent, and it needs to be to beat the Cats.
Good day, Simo. It's Chatters here. Just on Tim Kelly, who seemed to play his best game for the club last week. How do you think he'll go facing up against his former club?
Hopefully well. He's a pro, albeit it's only his third season. He prepares the same every week. The output we've got from him has been pretty good this season. It's got better every week, I suppose. But we're not putting too much pressure on him. Just wanting to get out there and play his role, and hopefully we can complement him with the rest of our midfielders. And obviously it's a different type of game when you're playing your old side, but it's not the first time it's happened, and it won't be the last.
Is it the chemistry that's improved that's really helped him take his game to where we know it could be?
You'd probably think so. I mean, playing with a brand new side, we had the interruption of the quarantine and the COVID-19 situation wouldn't have helped that chemistry. And then, we were on the ropes a bit there for a few weeks in terms of our connection. So, I think he's improved with the side, really. So he's probably a reflection of what's happened in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Simo, you're a basketball man. What did you make of the Globetrotters comments from Nathan Buckley?
Nothing really. I mean, he was talking about them and what his perception was of how they went about it. I don't think it was a reflection of us. So we did have a good day. Everything clicked, no doubt. But I didn't read too much into it, to be honest. It was, that's Bucks.
Was it the perfect game though?
I don't think I'm not thinking like that. No. And the roller coaster of this year will suggest that we're not going to deliver that type of output every week. We're going to try, but it was a good performance, but we're not satisfied with just living off that. We need to back it up. So we've been building for a few weeks, and I think we're now in a position where hopefully we've got a brand that can compete against anyone in the competition. But Geelong, they're above us on the ladder. They're the form team really when you look at it. Their numbers stack right up across the board. We've had a good week. They've had a good season, so we know where we sit.
Can I just ask about... Sorry, just last one from me. Just ask about the players that are on the fringe. Obviously, Harry's going to make his debut. Lots of talk about Lewis Jetta, why he's not in the team. How hard is it for those players that are on the fringes to press their claims when you're playing 12 against 12 or 13 or 14 against 14?
Yeah, that's difficult. I think it's tougher for the more mature players who aren't in the senior side, and we've got 3 or 4 guys who are doing a tremendous job keeping energy with the younger players and within themselves, making themselves available, and all of them have done a really good job at that. So Jets is one of those. Will Schofield as well, and Tom Hickey and Vardy, Hutchings as well. They're actually really, really holding up their end of the bargain at the moment with what is a really awkward position to be in. And we've got to train in groups of 8. So therefore there's probably 3 groups that are in the squad and there's 2 groups that aren't. And they're not in the group of 3, so they're finding it difficult. But their energy and attitude's been fantastic. So yeah, they're all in pretty good spirits and they're playing reasonably good football albeit in scrimmage point of view. So yeah, and we're happy with where they're at, and they're available if we need them.
Do you look at, I guess, obviously, keeping those guys not just ready, but also with the younger boys, sort of making sure that they're in and amongst some of the main group with the fixture crunch we've got coming up, and we're seeing a lot of teams, give young guys debuts in the Edwards camp as well. I mean, are you looking at, potentially getting some more games into those kids, and resting some players as well, I guess, with the crunch that we're seeing coming up?
Yeah, we're lucky. Our crunch hasn't come yet. I think it might be coming down the track, but we haven't got a compressed fixture at the moment. We've got a reasonably good. We've got a 6-day break this week, which is a privilege compared to what some other clubs have got to deal with. But yeah, we're managing as best we can our young players and older players who aren't in the side opportunities to train with a group where they can. If you look at our emergencies every week, there's a sprinkle of youth and experience there, and I've got no doubt they're going to get opportunities in the next few weeks, regardless of the fixture. We're going to definitely need to use our squad. So that's been the case for years, and that won't change.
Just on the Cats, obviously, defence is really strong and a lot of experience there. But with the midfield battle again, with no real experience, Ruckman and no Joel Selwood, is that an area that you think you guys can really take advantage of, especially with the form of Nick Nat over the last couple of weeks? Yeah, well, without going too deep into it, I think Geelong, what they've done really well in the last 10 years is it doesn't matter who plays for them. They play a distinct brand. It's tough and hard to beat, and it doesn't matter who's in the side. The last 3 or 4 times we've played them, we've been beaten convincingly in a lot of those areas around the midfield and in regards to the contest. So we know what we're up against, that just because the personnel's a little bit different, I can't see them changing the way they play. And you only got to look to the weekend how tough and hard they were. So, yeah, their back line's really solid. They play a really good system. Their mids always turn up. And they've got a dangerous forward line. So, there's a reason why they're 3rd on the ladder.
That's where Timo, you're very tall now. You mentioned how tall Harry Edwards is. Your forward line's really tall as well. A lot of teams are going small, but you seem to be going with the structure of the best players you've got, which is tall. How difficult is it to go in and play or select a team that's so different to what other teams are putting out there?
Yeah, not a bad question, but at the same time, we're quite small in our back half. With McGovern, so on the weekend we played Rotham, who unfortunately goes out of the side this week. And outside of that, you got Tom Barras is the only tall in our back half. So, I wouldn't say we're overly tall in the back half, but the front half we've got some guys there who are playing high half forward, and Jakey Waterman's one probably comes to mind, who plays a high half forward linking type of role, and he's 192, which is a little bit unique, but he's in our best team and he can run. So we're not going to discriminate because he's a bit taller than the average high half forward. So, yeah, we've got to complement the way we play with our list, and that's always the case with every team. So, yep, they're in our best 22, and as long as they play their role, they play.
So, mate, how's Brendan Cheese week been?
Yeah, he's available. Yeah, he had a bit of a knock on the back a couple of weeks ago, so he's in the mix. I'm not going to give you the whole side. It'll wait a couple of hours. I think it's today, isn't it? I think it's today. But yeah, the high half forward role. Yeah, there's a few guys available for that position at the moment, so he's one of them.
Got the talent in the world in the last 10 months or so, Simo, since you last played the Cats. But does that semi-final cross your mind at all? Does it get mentioned this week?
Not really. I mean, we've looked at the last 3 or 4 times we've played Geelong, and there's quite a similar pattern, and it's not pretty for us. So, yeah, we're aware of what they do. It's not like it's just against us. The way they play, it's a really tough, hard brand. So the contest is critical. I know they really pride themselves in that. So we need to match them in that area, and it's something that we're working on. You know, our ability to compete against teams like Geelong is a challenge. So we think we're up for it. We know what's in front of us, and now it's two good teams going against each other.
How's Jack Redden? Sim, I just noticed in training today, was quite sore, didn't really take part with the main group and was running around. So he'll be all good to go.
Well, you'll find out in a couple of hours. No, he won't play. Well, I'll give you another one. He's got a little quaddie, so you got me there. That's it, though. I'm not giving any more team selection news until after. All right. So, but he's got a slight quaddie, and just with what's going on at the moment, we're not going to risk him.
Something that came up during the match or training, or
he just pulled up a little bit tight after the game. I think carried it for the second half. That was his excuse for kicking a flower bag set shot in the last quarter. So he's got a bit of a tight quaddie. So he'll miss this week. Hopefully he's available next week.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Can I just ask one more? Sorry, I know you're talking about just players and the period that's coming up that's going to get a little busier. Does Nick will he need a rest? Have you planned for a rest with him, or is good form, great form, and continue on as long as you can with him?
Yeah, he's one that's really benefited from the shorter game time. Gives him more opportunity to recover, and he's recovering really well. So he's, I think we might have managed his minutes at the back end of the game when it was over last week. But like I said earlier, our fixturing, we've got an 8-day break next week into a 7-day break. So until it tightens up, which I'm pretty certain it will, we'll have our turn. We'll look at that then, how we manage some of our older players and guys who need a full, 5 or 6 days to recover. But at the moment, they're all putting their hand up to play.
Sorry, Simo, just one more with Patrick Dangerfield. Is it a matter of Elliot Yeo head-to-head with him? Do you do a head-to-head with somebody else, Tim Kelly? Do you tag him? What is the plan with someone like Patrick Dangerfield? Do you just back your mids in to beat their mids?
A bit of everything, I suppose. I mean, we don't have a legitimate tagging player, but Elliot's done a job in the past on the bigger-bodied mids. I think he might have played on him in the final last couple of times. So that may happen, but it's the collective for the Cats. I mean, you can go after Danger, but there are weapons around and across the board that we've got to keep an eye on. So we'll weigh that up. There'll be a couple of things we need to do, and a couple of things that our whole unit needs to do to try and combat Geelong's midfield.
Do you get a practice match this week, Simo? And how many blokes would you have available if you are going to have a run around with them?
We're not going to. We wouldn't have a lot available just through a 6-day break, a few niggles here and there. So it's difficult at the moment. Other clubs are going through the same thing. So we'd have to combine 2 or 3 clubs to get a scrimmage together. And I think the next month we might get another 2 or 3 opportunities, hopefully against Carlton and Hawthorn next couple of weeks. But every club's sort of dealing with the same issues we are. So, yeah, that's difficult, but we're all in the same boat.